Hello students, welcome back to the class. Students, this is the second part of this chapter, and in this second part we are going to learn first of all about the semicolon. So students, a semicolon is represented by this symbol, which is a dot, and beneath this dot there is a comma. So the semicolon is used, or it indicates a longer pause than a comma. And then there are different ways in which we can use the semicolon. First one is to separate clauses of equal importance. Now if you see in the example, the rich are often stingy, the poor are generous. So students, these are two different clauses. The rich are often stingy, this is a clause. The poor are generous, this is another clause. But when we are separating these two, so if you see in this sentence, the rich are often stingy, the poor are generous. If we are if you will see in this sentence, these two clauses are dependent on each other. That means in this sentence, if we have to give a meaning out of this, then these two are dependent on each other. These two clauses, though they are independent, but they are still dependent on each other, because they are completing the meaning of each other, and it is giving a all different meaning. The rich are often stingy, when we are adding another clause with this clause, then it is making a whole new sentence which is giving a different meaning. So if we have to separate two different clauses, and these two different clauses has equal importance, then in that case we use the semicolon. Now if you see the second example, the air is human, to forgive is divine. To err is human, to forgive is divine. These two are different clauses, okay, and to separate them we have used this semicolon. Now next is to separate pairs of words which are separated by commas. So now in this, if you will see in the example, we already have some words are written: sent, sent, fair, fair, sun, sun. So students, if you will see, these words are pronounced in the same way, but they have different meaning, their spellings are different. So this is actually a pair, sent, sent, and it is separated by a comma. And now we are separating this particular pair from the rest of the pairs. So we will use, in that case, we will use the semicolon. So we are separating the pair sent, sent from fair, fair with the semicolon. Now to separate the parts of the sentences which are already separated by a comma. Now if you see, we had a nice trip, we went to Greece, Spain and Italy. Now if you see in this sentence, this part of the sentence, we went to Greece, Spain and Italy. So this is a list of the places where we went. So we are separating this part of the sentence from the rest of the sentence. So in that case also we will use this semicolon. Now we have the colon. So students, in this, if you will see, the colon are represented by this symbol. There are actually two dots, one is above and the other one is beneath. So it is used to introduce the quotations, like Shakespeare wrote, "A rose by another name would smell as sweet." So actually students, in this we are telling what Shakespeare has written. So if we have to tell that, if we have to separate the quotation, or if we are writing the quotation, then in that case we will use the colon. Gandhiji said, "An eye for an eye would make the world blind." So this is what Gandhiji has said. And if we have to separate this from rest of the sentence, then we will use the colon. Second, before a list coming after an independent clause. Okay students, now before a list coming, so this is a list. If you see in this sentence, Mahatma Gandhi had three chief weapons: satyagraha, non-violence and non-cooperation. So students, this is actually the list: satyagraha, non-violence and non-cooperation. But we have used the colon before the list, okay, and this is an independent clause, like Mahatma Gandhi had three chief weapons. This makes a complete sense in itself. But after this there is a list, and if we have to separate this list from rest of the sentence, then we will use the colon.